Debbie, let's come back to you then, and back on the topic of health and world health.
Yes, but before I talk about World Health, I just want to add that the MHRA have put the May and July board meeting on YouTube. Please, everybody go and click on it, because we really need them to know that we're watching. And it would appear that Dame June is still there, but we'll hold off on that for now. But yeah, back to future health. And, it's all about the future of Britain, Tony Blair, the future health, the summit of the future. And we're looking at October, and I'm going into October and I'm seeing what's going on. Well, we've got Brics to start off with, the Brics Summit, which I said was going to be chaired by Russia. So that's on the 22nd to 24th of October. But just before then, because I do think these 8 weeks between September and the end of November are going to be pivotal, and we're going to start seeing a tightening of screws on us. So the World Health Summit, 13th, 15th of October in Berlin, meant to be building trust for a healthier world. And we've got a huge 350 speakers, and I'll show you some of those in a minute, 3,000 participants, over 60 sessions, and they're going to be looking at women's health, antimicrobial resistance, health around climate shocks, which pretty much includes everything, including vaccines, digital health, of course, artificial intelligence, and again, youth leaders of the future. And just to take you to the website for the future health so you can see where to go. This is the main front page of the website, Building Trust for a Healthier World. But if we go to look at their mission, we can see that, again, they call this a unique platform for global health. I think that's on the next slide. Yeah, it's a unique platform where stakeholders, politicians, scientists, the private sector, and civil society can all meet to talk about the sustainable development goals. And this is, they say, political decisions will affect human health, and quite clearly they are wanting to accelerate everything. But if we look at the central topics are, again, we say antimicrobial resistance, artificial intelligence, the youth, again, young people, women's health, climate, and how climate will affect health. And I just want you to see their program, because they brought out a draft program, and this has only just been published. So you can freeze the screen again, because there's so much on that you might want to choose a particular session to go and watch, because I do think that this is going to be vital. So this is for October the 3rd. And just freeze the screen so you can see the agenda. And then we've also got the 14th and the 15th. So you can see the agendas for both of those days. And who's running it? Well, we've got a gentleman called Axel Priest, who's the World Health Summit president. And I'm just going to highlight a number of the members, not so much by name, but by organisation. So we've got the United Nations participating, the Red Cross, Google Health, Wellcome, the WHO, of course, Bill and Melinda Gates as well, the usual suspects. And what about their partners? Well, you won't be surprised to see Bill and Melinda Gates, or Pfizer, CEPI, the European Commission, and Siemens, the major partners, premier partners. We've got the Rockefeller Foundation, we've got Bayer, Johnson & Johnson. I mean, it really is a feast for your eyes of all of the names that you're used to. Supporting partners, there you go. You've got the Global Fund. I mean, it's extraordinarily big event, and it's going to be taking place, as I say, in October. But let's look at some of the speakers, because they've got so many speakers. So, of course, we've got Tedros from the WHO. We've also got the ambassador on antimicrobial resistance for Federal Ministry of Health, Germany, and also the CEO of the Union of International Cancer Control. So these are the three big agendas here that the WHO are going to be looking at. But let's look at a few more of the speakers, and I'm just going to highlight just a few, because there really are so many. So we're looking at speakers from Google, DeepMind, and there we see Dame Sally Davis. Of course, she's our very own UK envoy for antimicrobial resistance. We've got UNAIDS, we've got the Max Planck, we've got Bill Gates. I mean, the names go on. And if we go on to the next slide, you'll see some more familiar faces. Jeremy Farrar, who's the chief scientist for the WHO. Richard Horton, editor of The Lancet. We've got YouTube being represented, and we've got Epidemic Preparedness being represented. And even more on the next slide, we've got Gavi, we've got Wellcome, we've got the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, Pfizer, the Rockefellers. The lists just go on and on. A big, big summit. But I mean, let's look at the next slide, because we're looking at the United Nations political declaration. Now, this is the one that I've been talking about. This is one of the days where purely antimicrobial resistance is going to be talked about. And this is why I say this is going to be a big agenda moving forward. So what they're saying is that it contributes to 5 million deaths a year, including many children. The financial costs are extreme, $1 trillion for additional healthcare. But they say that treating antibiotic resistance infection could cost a staggering, eye-watering £412 billion a year, and with lost productivity of $443 billion a year. So, I mean, they're putting big figures on this. And as I've said all along, antimicrobial resistance, how real is this agenda? Probably, in my opinion, about as real as climate change and all of these sustainable goals that appear unsustainable. So here's the big banner for antimicrobial resistance. AMR is invisible. I am not. Well, it's going to be a big day, and I predict big changes. But let's go on to November, because I did say the 8 weeks were going to be busy. And I'm just going to flash up a couple of big dates for your diary. The UN climate change in November, the conference in Baku, 11th to the 22nd of November 2024. And then we've got the G20 as well in Rio. That's on November the 18th to the 19th. That's going to be another huge summit. And of course, in December, we just round it all off with Epidemic Preparedness Day. So as far as I can see from what I'm looking at online, it would appear that the weeks between the end of September to the end of November are going to be extremely busy. There are going to be a lot of major decisions made that could affect us very, very quickly. And like I say, we're going from the word acceleration to turbocharged. So keep an eye. When we all get back from holiday and the kids go back to school, I think we're going to see a lot of changes very quickly.
Okay, Debbie, thank you very much.